It's time to know what's on the front pages of the Nigerian newspaper. Joining me is lawyer and social development advocate Jide Ologun, as well as in-house analyst Obani Akinwale. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning, pleasure.
All right, let's head straight to the papers now, and I begin with the first newspaper. Escalating insecurity, address Nigerians, restructure the nation, convene national dialogue, Southern governors tell Buhari ban open grazing in states. You find details of the story on the front pages or the pages of the first newspaper. To the blueprint now, Southern governors to Buhari address the nation, restore citizens' confidence, back Nigeria's unity, ban open grazing, demand restructuring. You find details of the story on the pages of the blueprint. We move now to the business day. How insecurity cost Nigeria's economy $10.3 billion in 2020. That's a report on how insecurity has cost Nigeria about $10.3 billion in 2020. Find details of that story on the business day. To the Daily Times now, Southern governors ban open grazing, demand confab, state police, fair appointments, others. Southern governors ban open grazing, demand confab, state police, fair appointments, others. To the Daily Trust now, still talking about the same story. Southern governors to Buhari convene national dialogue. And conference needless. Tanko Yakasai, president should honor growing cause done. You find details of the stories on the pages of the Daily Trust newspaper. To the News Direct now, federal government to prosecute 400 suspects for funding terrorism. Lai Mohammed says federal government not overwhelmed by insecurity. Find details of the story on the pages of the News Direct. To the Leadership newspaper now, insecurity, Southern governors close ranks, oppose open grazing, demand restructuring. Details of the story on the pages of the Leadership newspaper. To the Punch, Indian COVID-19 strain surfaces in Nigeria. Disease Center alerts NCDC. Strain detected in Osun, Edo, same with India's, different in characteristics. ACEGID prof speaking there. There should be announcement that a vicious strain already in Nigeria, counsels Tomari. You find details of the story on the pages of the Punch newspaper. To the Nation now, Southern governors call for urgent national dialogue. How will secure Nigeria by NSA-CD's IG, attacks on security operatives, a declaration of war, says federal government. All right, you look at the demands here by the governors. You find the details on the front page of the Nation newspaper. To the Daily Sun now, insecurity, Southern governors blow hot. Demand convocation of national confab, state police, review of revenue sharing formula, correction of lopsided federal appointments, ban open grazing, warn against another COVID-19 lockdown, want Buhari to address Nigerians. All right. To the Guardian newspaper, 17 Southern governors ban open cattle grazing, want Buhari to address Nigerians, organize confab on insecurity. Buhari unveils new measures for South-East, South-South security. Mammon threats in North. Afenifere leader calls for president's resignation. PDP, Nigeria in serious trouble. We must pray now. To the Nigerian Tribune, Southern governors meet in Asaba, ban open grazing, demand restructuring, want Buhari to convoke national dialogue urgently. And then you find the demands right there. If you want details, more details, go to the Nigerian Tribune. Pick up a Nigerian Tribune newspaper. To the Vanguard now, insecurity, Southern governors meet, offer 10-point solution, agree to ban open grazing in Southern Nigeria. Call for convocation of national dialogue, insist on federal character, reiterate Southerners' commitment to Nigeria's unity, express concern over Oshodi-Apapa Expressway gridlock. Buhari approves new security measures for Southeast, South-South. All right, and finally on the Disney newspaper, Southern governors call for national dialogue, restructuring and open grazing on appointments to reflect federal character, urge Buhari to address nation on insecurity. Now, we'll begin with the story that is on almost all of the pages of the papers this morning, and talking about the meeting convened by the Southern governors yesterday, 17 of them, and they agreed on setting issues, 10-point solution they came up with. One, they want the president to, speak to the nation, and they also want a convocation of a national dialogue on insecurity, and that there should be some level of federal character in government appointments. So many issues, gentlemen, that I would like for you to react to. And I'll begin with you, Obani. What do you make of this meeting? Are these the genuine issues that have to be addressed? Because yesterday, while I was speaking with one of my guests, he said that these people, this meeting, they have to speak the truth. That is the only way we can find a solution to the challenges facing the region.
Let me first say that I give them kudos for thoughting it wise. After the last meeting held at Lagos State during the era of Mr. Ambode, for the Southwest governors, we've always been having the Northern Governors Forum. And we all know that the joy is always better than war. So absolutely. I give credence for that. But that's not to shy away from the fact that, for me, the outcome of the meeting is an absolute waste of time and resources. And I say that with every sense of responsibility. You first ask yourself this question: how many national dialogue have we had in this country? From Pronaco to National Conference, the reports are there from Clifford, and what have all of our review 1979, what have you seen today? We have already dialogue, we know what to do. And these are things that the Jonathan Conference of 2004 tried to address, restructuring, the evolution of power, and what have you. And have we been able to legislate over these issues? That is one. The second part of it is that if the governors are now requesting for national dialogue, then governors have also accepted the fact that at this moment as a country we need to totally eradicate what we call National Assembly, because that's why you have those constituent assemblies to legislate, to debate on our behalf. That is true. 3, I wonder why these governors are now shedding crocodile tears. A couple of months back, President signed autonomy to the judiciary, autonomy to this or that. These governors till today have not agreed to give autonomy to the legislature or to the judiciary
this month.
So do we need dialogue to what president has already ascended to? So when you are now asking that the evolution of power, the one they ask you as governors to devolve, allow the legislature to act on their own, allow these people to act. Even some governors, as we speak, still live on local government allocations. And these are the same governors now coming to the newspaper doing a jamboree and telling us that we need to discuss.
So invariably you're saying they are not being sincere.
They are not. So at every point in time, everybody run to Mr. Buhari and say this is not done. But we all know that this guy takes millions of naira security vote every month. What do they do with it? Who they accounted for it? In terms of employment, in terms of securing their people, what has been their role? Are they saying everything that has to happen to them as state government is the governor? Now the governors are asking for each state to have ports. You ask yourself, virtually all of the states in the Southwest are now building airports where there is no road, where there is the business are not there. So why do you know that if the port business is going to be the one that will bring employment and bring better society, why investing billions of naira, billions of dollars in building airports that you don't have anybody flying? So why these are not the things that Nigerian is at this point in time? Tell us what you have done in your capacity as governor. Do you need Mr. Buhari to put open grazing law in place in your state? We've seen it happening. Ekitiman did it. Fayose did it. He said, if I see cow on the street, we arrest it. Governor Tinagredo came out to tell us that he doesn't want cow in his state. So why should we now say we ban open grazing? Is it banned by mouth? Do you need the president to do that for you? Do we need to sit down for you to do what you're supposed to do as a executive governor of this state? So for me, I appreciated them for coming together like the other have been doing over the time. We have always have South, Southeast, Southwest, but not come together. But everything they're asking from Mr. President, national dialogue on what? The National Assembly is there. They are starting constitutional review by 27, 28 to go. Let all of us go there and go and make ourselves known. If you do any national dialogue, it will still be subjected to the ways and caprices of the National Assembly to legislate over. They can't force it. If the executive vets a bill, National Assembly has to sit on it. So why all this? Go to your National Assemblyman and say, these are what my people want. Implement it. Absolutely. Go to your various state, create those laws that enable you to be able to do it. Then on the devolution of power, are we hearing it for the first time? is 79, 83, 2014, Pronaco of Professor Shoyinka. They all said these things. What are we doing with this document? These documents are already at National Assembly. Why don't you exhume it out and let them legislate over it rather than you creating?
So there's nothing new they have said.
There's nothing new they have said.
Right. Let's come to Jide Ologun now. I wonder if you also think that there's nothing new they have said and that they are not being sincere.
Absolutely, and I think there is a need to harness interest now. So I'm impressed that the southern governors are coming together. So it's not like south, southeast, southwest. And I noticed an undertone. Recall that Governor Obaseki came out to allege that the CBN printed 60 billion naira to share to the states. And NNPC has warned that perhaps in the next 2 months, there may not be money to even remit to the federation account for the states to share. So it's one of the main interests that the states have now. But on the other side of the coin, I think the call for true federalism is getting hotter now. Because if benefits are not coming from the central government, then the state government should find a way of rising up to meet their obligations. And talking about the dialogue, what have we not dialogued about in Nigeria? For me, it's not about the dialogue, it's about the deliberate decision to work together and to allow the principle that is enshrined in Section 17 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 that's amended, that says that the platform for our coexistence will be equity, fairness, and justice. And those are some of the calls that we are having now. I recall historically that in 1953, when we started debating whether we should go for independence, the southern politicians, a motion was moved by the Chief Enahoro that let's go for independence in 1956. But the northern politicians said no, that as soon as possible. And that led to the Kano riot of May 1953. Until date, we have not been able to synchronize our unity. So you see us moving in different directions. You may have the northern governors meeting now to say the attempt to ban open grazing is a clamp down on the economic interests of the north. And the big question we are asking is that, should a business be so crime laden that we are now clamping down on the economy of the nation? Because if you look at the impact, we just read a report now that we lost about $10 billion dollars to insecurity in year 2020. Yes. So I think for me, we are now drifting towards the principle of doctrine of necessity. The governors, perhaps they have no choice now on how to manage their states than to begin to look at how to strengthen their capacities. And talking about what the president may have to tell Nigerians, he has spoken when he came to office. He said, I'm for everybody, I'm for nobody. Chief Lai Mohammed just told us now that the government has the capacity to crush insecurity. Right. Okay. But so it's a function of excuses. The big question now is that, are we interested in prosperity in Nigeria? If yes, do the right thing. And if we think poverty is a very good branding, why not? But the consequences are also there for us.
We'll have to leave the conversation here for now because we need to quickly go on a short break. When we return, the conversation continues. We're talking about the meeting the Southern governors had yesterday, and Jide Ologun was reacting, talking about if we want to be prosperous, we know what to do and we should go about it. I just want you to quickly wrap up your thoughts so that we move on quickly.
We need to come together, whether at the state level, at the federal level, and decide that what kind of country do we want to deliver. And security is critical to it, and coming together as one. And I want to suggest that the governors and the president and all of them go and study the 10 most secured countries in the world. And you see the level of wealth that they enjoy. You talk about, Switzerland, Australia, New Zealand, Denmark, and what have they done? Even let's bring it home. You talk about the UAE. I mean, you talk about, look at the UK. Our government has Plan B. Our president just went on Plan B medical checkup in the UK. So what exactly is wrong with Nigeria? So let's come together as a team. And if we know we cannot proceed as a team, then let's go ahead with this true federalism, and you begin to amplify the culture that best suits your interest in your own region. Okay. But we need prosperity in this land.
All right, we'll have to leave that conversation on that topic because we need to quickly touch on some new developments that has to do with the Nigeria-Ghana trade dispute. The president is looking to quickly resolve, and he is sending a delegation of led by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment. This is also part of the series of meetings that have been on since last year. And the question on the minds of people is if this issue can really be resolved, seeing the back and forth that has happened last year. You know, they are demanding that the traders pay a sum of $1 million for registration, and the traders are crying out saying they cannot, pay that amount. The vice president even weighed in saying that they should look into the issue, and the president agreed, but nothing was done so far up until now. And he was worried that perhaps there's more to this whole issue than we know.
I just wonder why we just like wasting resources when we don't even have enough. You recollect that this government about last year or thereabout closed border to Ghana and other West African countries on the premise that there is importation of small arms, smuggling, rice importation and what have you. And until our neighbors ensure that all these products comes into the legal means, the border will not be opened. And I can't remember Ghana sending delegation 1, 2, 3 times to come and talk to us to change our laws. And there was one of the clips that I watched where the president of Ghana was saying that if you like bring anybody down here, our law is our law. So if the law in Ghana says that before you can set up a business, you need to have X, Y amount of money, yes, there is international agreement, there is lobbying, there is AFTA that has come in, there is ECOWAS free trade agreement, there is custom union and what have you. But nonetheless, the law in Ghana is law in Ghana. Then you ask ourselves at this point in time, do we have upper hand in such a way to negotiate business with Ghana? No, we don't. Because what you find out now is that even Nigeria will tell you that I would rather go to Ghana to go and relocate. So when the Ghanaians already have the impression that they are superhuman beings. I was watching a clip online when one Ghanaian owed 1 Ghana cedis and was holding 500 naira. He said, Nigeria, see your country. This is 1 Ghana cedis. This is 500 naira.
So these are the things
so you are not at that advantage to negotiate with them.
Right.
So if the law in Ghana is the law in Ghana, it has to be done. When South African company messed up here, the ShopRite issue, the xenophobic attack in South Africa, we know what we did here. So if the law says this is what you do, if the government truly wants to help Nigerians there, find out where the Nigerian Business Society over there, assist them with funds. So allow them, the Africa Commission, to take over this. What do you need to form businesses? But it is not in our place to legislate for them. And it's again boils down on the fact that our economy, our system is collapsing daily, and we are gradually becoming object of ridicule, even in the sub-Saharan West Africa. Not to talk about the global scene. Nigeria has no business going to Ghana to go and negotiate for people that are trading there. If it's a law in the land, and that's why we're saying that all these jamborees we do meeting and do dialogue. If that is what the Ghanaian law entails before you can start business, you know before you go to the turf. And if you decide to review their business environment, yes, international law allows us to relate based on our custom union as ECOWAS, but notwithstanding, let us, there's a proverb in Yoruba, I don't know how to put it, said, Ile latike shorode. If we can do it properly at home, Ghanaians will beg us to come and invest. I'm sure something that Elon Musk must have seen before saying is bringing Starlink to Nigeria to come and invest here. That's something that Microsoft must have seen to say they want to do it. So let us also find a way of asking Ghana to ask us to come and invest, not begging them that allow our traders to stay within your system. It is absurd.
Let's get Jide's perspective to this issue.
You know, Ghana is a sovereign state. And don't forget that going to history, Ghana was disgraced out of Nigeria.
Ghana must go.
Ghana must go. And they learned from that shame. And they embarked on what we call the 3 Ps of life, of success. The preparation, the positioning, and the projection. And right now they are attracting foreign direct investment. They attracted the highest last year in West Africa.
Yes.
Toyota is there, Kia is moving there, Twitter, and the economy is doing well. They still have their struggles. So I think it's shameful for us if, as giant of Africa, we are now going crawling to Ghana. I would rather suggest that our government should go to Ghana to ask them, how did you handle the herdsmen crisis? so that we can begin to build capacity. We are talking about Plan B. Have you forgotten that Dunlop was in Nigeria?
Yes.
Employing, massive revenue for the nation. Dunlop relocated to Ghana. Why? Because it became more prudent for Dunlop to produce in Ghana and ship the products into Nigeria. Yeah. And like he brilliantly mentioned, recently we slapped our neighboring countries in West Africa by closing down our land borders. And at the end of the day, we even claim we didn't benefit anything. So you are now going to I think for me, Nigeria should focus more on building internal capacity.
So what happens to our citizens there?
You cannot. What happens to
the Nigerian traders there?
If you can trade there, trade there. Let me reveal this to you. For those who are seeking dual citizenship, if you know how those countries profile applicants, despite the fact that you are bringing your billions into their economy, they want to know who is coming in, highly skilled immigrants. And yet we went to Egypt, flung open our borders to foreigners to come into Nigeria and receive visa on arrival without considering the HR value that they are bringing into the nation. And now we are screaming about banditry. So you cannot dictate to Ghana how to run the economy of Ghana. Nigerians can come back home to develop home. So create the friendly business environment. We are talking about electricity. We are talking about the ease of doing business. Like he said, do you know that right now the minimum wage of Nigeria, which is about 30,000 naira, is like $6 when you benchmark it in the foreign exchange environment. It was stronger than that when it was even 18,000 naira. So what has happened to our economy that you now need about 500 naira to buy $1? I mean, it's ridiculous. So I want to appeal to this government. If that appeal gets to the ears and the minds of those who are managing the affairs, that Nigeria is the most blessed country in the world. And I stand by that. But it's one thing for you to have resources. Yeah. It's one thing to engage your resources resourcefully. We need to look inwards and build capacity. You are not just giant by name. I mean, we have the potentials. Nigeria is the most populous country in sub-Saharan. You talk about business potentials. People want to come and invest, but who wants to invest when bandits are chasing people around? Kidnappers are now, it's like we now have kidnappers dictating to government. We have everything in disarray. So how do you maneuver into prosperity with that concept of governance? And that is why I'm happy with all the agitations coming from different quarters. Those who thought they were in their comfort zone have realized now that comfort zone may go on fire.
It's no longer comfortable.
Let's build Nigeria, and that is the duty of government. Secure your environment, prosperity will flow. I have said it. What Singapore did was to create local wealth, local friendly economic environment that attracted foreign wealth into your region, and you go into the autopilot of prosperity. So, and Singapore rolled out in 1965. So what is wrong with Nigeria? And that is why the fabric of governance must be reconsidered. We need vibrant, front-thinking, dynamic leadership in this country, and I'm talking generally now. And what is the essence of government if not to deliver on the good welfare and security to the people? So I want to tell us that going to Ghana what are we going to tell them, to force them, when we are at home fighting? Did Governor Otom not make laws banning open grazing in Benue State? And the man has been fought to the point that he almost lost his life. If we have this internal crisis, and we are not like Palestine and Israel firing rockets at themselves. So locally we are busy trying to pull down the structure that should be exalted in the world. So we look forward to a new dawn for this nation.
We must leave the conversation here now. Lawyer and social development advocate Jide Ologun and in-house analyst Obani Akinwale. Gentlemen, thank you for your time on the program.
God bless Nigeria.